Hello and welcome back to the Concept Checkup. The point of Concept Checkup is to dive into the Warframe forums, look for a community-made Warframe concept, and talk about it. For the purpose of Concept Checkup, I will use my custom-built evaluating method known as AS. Without further ado, let's begin the checkup. For today's checkup we have Pretiume, the Spartan Warframe. Much like Ash is modeled after the ninja of ancient Japan, Pretiume is based on the Spartan warriors of Greece. Pretiume was created by Dequire on the Warframe forums, and is designed to be a fighter frame, overwhelming enemies with her weapons and allied Spartans. Pretiume has average health, low shields, high armor, and a very low energy capacity. Pretiume thrives on the front lines with his squadmates, where his passive comes into aid. When Pretiume is near his allies, they all receive a 15% increase to shields. Clearly Pretiume is portrayed to be the head frame of the squad, or leader, if you will. Even though the 15% increase to shields might be of assistance, it encourages players to clump together, which is not a good thing on locations that have infested moes and bombards, who could make short work of a squad that's too close together. Pretiume's first ability is Warrior's Reach. Pretiume throws a spear, impaling up to 5 targets while it's in midair. Any targets that Warrior's Reach impales will be stuck on the spear, much like an arrow from a Paris Prime or Dread. Once the spear collides with a wall or reaches the 5 impaled enemy limit, it will explode, dealing additional damage in a small area. Warrior's Reach would make the best anti-grenadier snipe ability in the game, judging by its innate impaling capability and infinite range. However, even though Warrior's Reach has an infinite cast range, it is not homing like Volt's Shock, so practice will be required to successfully land a spear from across the map. Plus, spamming Warrior's Reach down a hallway would certainly make for cheap laughs. Warrior's Reach has the Bladed Spear Augment, which adds slash damage. With this augment, I can see Warrior's Reach being a fantastic anti-infested ability in addition to already being great against Grenier. But besides that, it's only slash damage. Pretiume's second ability is Aegis. Pretiume creates a shield that drains energy over time. The shield will prevent Pretiume from double jumping and will slow her down to a walk as well as increase recoil, but will reduce all frontal damage taken by 75%. Aegis just seems like a bulkier and slightly worse version of Mace's Shatter Shield, but instead of damage reduction from all directions, your accuracy and movement are lowered, and damage reduction only applies to a cone in front of you. The accuracy loss might be forgiven, but the movement loss is definitely a detriment to Pretiume. I'd suggest removing the movement loss from Aegis but slightly increasing the energy drain. Aegis has the Shield of Mirrors Augment, which reflects damage back to their origination. The deflected damage does not become homing, so damage is not guaranteed. Shield of Mirrors can potentially make tank Pretiume viable, because if Pretiume builds for maximum armor and power strength, as well as equipping Shield of Mirrors, then Aegis would really be a fun ability to use to completely nullify damage. Pretiume's third ability is Spartan Wall. Pretiume calls upon the memory of her ancient brethren, spawning a wall of Spartan warriors. Only one wall can be active at a time, much like Atlas's landslide. Each Spartan warrior on the wall is equipped with a shield and lotto, preventing all enemies from passing through the wall. The Spartans will die if their health reaches 0 or if the duration of Spartan Wall ends. Spartan Wall prevents all enemies from passing through the wall, except for allies and airborne enemies like Ospreys. Needless to say, Spartan Wall is basically the living variant of Atlas's landslide, which does damage on its own rather than having to be reactivated. If built for power strength, Spartan Wall could work as a decent substitute for hallway hero players. Spartan Wall has the Commander's Bolster Augment. Commander's Bolster will cause the Spartans to leave a space open in the wall for Pretiume to stand in. If Pretiume chooses to fight alongside the Spartan Wall, the health, damage, and firing speed of the Spartan significantly increases. I can understand the idea of this augment, but I really don't like it. While it is a nice buff to an anti-everything ability, it encourages camping, which eventually fosters into a hallway hero playstyle. That should never be the result of an augment. Pretiume's fourth ability is Path of the Empire. Pretiume orders a bold charge, spawning Spartan warriors. The Spartans charge forward, dealing impact and puncture damage to any enemies hit. After a few seconds, the Spartans will break formation and attack anything hostile that is still alive. During Path of the Empire, Pretiume gains an Aegis that does not reduce accuracy or movement. Path of the Empire could be a really good anti-infested ability, considering that it pushes back and damages enemies, and then forces the Spartan charge to attack everything in sight. However, Path of the Empire would serve little to no purpose on maps with wide spaces such as Survival, where enemies are coming from all directions, not just forward. Path of the Empire has the Bloody Road augment, which gives the Spartans longer melee range and additional puncture damage. Maybe if Pretiume builds around Path of the Empire, Bloody Road could be a good augment, but for now it just seems really average to me. In a weird way, Pretiume seems to be the better version of Atlas. Pretiume deals a mixture of slash, impact, and puncture damage. Pretiume has a better barricade than Atlas, and Pretiume isn't totally useless if the enemy does not happen to be Corpus. This worries me, because Pretiume would then essentially outclass and overshadow Atlas. With that in mind, here are Pretiume's scores. Pretiume is a very established frame, and has some neat abilities to go with her, but considering that all her abilities deal mixed damage, she would essentially make Atlas nothing more than mastery rank fodder, much like Trinity overshadows Oberon. For my personal thoughts, I think that with a little bit of tweaking, Pretiume could be a good fighter frame to take along in a squad, as long as she doesn't render Atlas complete shit. So that's Pretiume's checkup. Tune in next time where I will perform a concept checkup on Hexa. Thank you for watching.